My yardage card shows the yardages that I hit all of my irons, and I've broken down the swing into size 1 through 10 swings. I ask all of my students to break down the swing into quarter, half, three-quarter, and full swings. And I have found that any avid or average golfer has the capacity to be able to develop a quarter, half, three-quarter, and full yardage card. Those of you that are desiring to play at a higher level of a scratch or a plus handicap, I encourage you to develop a size 1 through 10 yardage card. Down the left side of the card, you see the different length swings, and across the top of the card, you see the clubs. Now, this yardage card is not just about yardages. It's also about a trajectory and a spin. And I have found that the trajectory and the spin is probably more important than the yardage, and that's for this reason. When you make a full swing with any club, you're putting the maximum spin on the ball, and you're hitting the ball the maximum trajectory. Now, if you play in the wind or any kind of adverse weather, that's going to work against you. And if you have a way of playing a different trajectory shot with a different spin that'll allow you to hit the ball the same distance, for example, instead of hitting a full pitching wedge, you might be able to hit a 3/4 9-iron. And this 3/4 9-iron will be flying at a lower trajectory, thus less influenced by the wind. Plus, that 3/4 9-iron is going to have lower spin on it because it's being struck with a lower clubhead speed. And that lower spin is going to keep the ball from being negatively affected by the wind. And that lower spin will give you more control over the ball in the wind. The yardage card is something that you should develop after you have a simple, consistent, and repeatable swing. Once you develop it, the yardage card will make you feel like you have a cheat sheet of yardages and different shots that you could play out on the course. The yardage card will definitely allow you to lower your strokes per round by at least 4 to 5 strokes. The yardage card is something that will take you 2 weeks to a month to develop. First, you want to develop your sense for the different length swings, and then you want to record the yardages that you hit each of the shots with the different length swings. Now, the length of swings are not meant to be percentages. A size 1 for me is not a 10% swing. Instead, a size 1 swing for me is what feels like a size 1. And just so long as a 2 goes a little bit further than the 1, and I'm able to create a progression of different yardages that I can consistently produce from size 1 through 10, I now have an effective yardage card. It's very important that I stress to you, this is not about percentages. A quarter swing should not go 25% of the distance of your full swing. Instead, a quarter swing should be what you feel like a quarter swing is. And if a half swing is only a little bit longer than your quarter swing, just so long as it's different, you now have something that you can rely upon. This is very important that you recognize that the length of swing is personal to you. If you feel like it's a quarter length swing, it doesn't matter if your buddy tells you it looks like a half length swing. Just as long as you can repeat it over and over again, then it is your quarter length swing. And it becomes your reference point to be able to create that yardage, trajectory, and spin. Take your time in developing the yardage card. Make sure that you don't let the length of the swing distract you during the swing, and instead judge the length of the swing in hindsight while you are developing and defining the different length swings. This means do your best to make a half-length swing, but afterwards, if you feel like that was a quarter or a three-quarter or anything different from a half, pay attention to it and try to fine-tune it. With a little bit of practice on the range, and if you have a consistent and reliable technique like I teach, it won't be long before you multiply the clubs that you have in your bag, which are going to create a variety of shots that you can easily and consistently play.